I'm going to tell you about a star so big it breaks the way you think about big, and you will never see it die. There's a class of stars out there called Red Supergiants, the largest stars we know of, and one of them, if you dropped it into our solar system in place of the sun, would swallow every planet out past Saturn, not reach them, not scorch them from a distance, swallow them whole, surface and all. And here's the sting underneath that. It's already dying. Whatever's happening to that star right now, the moment we finally see it die will be thousands of years after the fact. Sit with that for a second, because your brain is not built to hold that number. Nobody's is. You hear 1,700 times wider than the sun, and you nod like that means something to you. It doesn't, not really. Your brain evolved to judge the size of a room, a mountain, an ocean, things you can walk across, stand next to, throw a rock over. It never had to judge the size of a star, so numbers like that just slide right past the part of you that's supposed to go, whoa. Let me give it a body instead of a number. If the sun were the size of a marble sitting on your kitchen table, a star like this would be a sphere about 2 stories tall, looming over your house. That's the actual ratio. A marble and a 2-story ball of fire hanging over your roof. Now the size means something, because now you can feel small next to it. Here's what should actually bother you, though. Something this size shouldn't even be able to hold itself together. A star, any star, is a war. Gravity's pulling inward the whole time, trying to crush the thing down to a point. Fusion in the core is pushing outward, holding the line. That standoff runs for millions, sometimes billions of years, depending on the star. But a red supergiant has already lost that war, just in extreme slow motion. The core burned through the fuel that kept things balanced, and the whole star swelled outward in response, bloating up into something so vast that its outer layers are barely bound to it anymore. It's not really a solid ball at that point. It's closer to a smoke ring the size of a solar system, held together by not much more than habit, shedding material off its own edge into space as it goes. And it's already dying. It just hasn't told us yet. Stars like this massive, this far along, some of them are expected to go supernova within the next 100,000 years, which sounds like a long time until you remember the universe is over 13 billion years old. 100,000 years on that scale is a blink. It's nothing. It's the astronomical equivalent of any minute now. But here's the catch, and this is where it stops being just a size story and starts being something stranger. This star sits thousands of light years away, so if it explodes tomorrow, in its own now, wherever now even means across that kind of distance, we will not find out for thousands of years. The explosion and our knowledge of the explosion are 2 completely separate events, unfolding on 2 completely separate timelines, connected only by a beam of light that's still crawling across the gap between us. Which means, and this is the part I can't quite let go of, somewhere out there, that star might already be gone. We genuinely cannot know right now, tonight, whether it still exists. Every photon hitting our telescopes left that star a long time ago, in some cases before recorded history began, before anyone was writing anything down at all. What we're looking at isn't a live feed. It's a photograph of the past, arriving late, the way a letter arrives after the person who wrote it has already moved on with their life. The star could have detonated already. It could have gone quiet years ago, decades ago, centuries ago, collapsed down to something else entirely, and we'd have no way of knowing, because the light carrying that information hasn't finished its trip yet. We could be looking right now at a corpse that doesn't know it's dead because the news hasn't arrived. And once you really let that sit, it stops being a fact about one star. It becomes a fact about the whole sky. Every star up there is doing the same thing to you, just on different timescales. The star is real. Its size is real, staggering, almost obscene in scale. But what you're seeing is never the star as it is. It's the star as it was, filtered through however many years the light needed to cross the gap. Some of that light is only minutes old. Some of it left before humans existed. And somewhere in that mix, some of those points of light aren't points at all anymore. They're echoes, messages that finished being true a long time ago, still arriving, still glowing, still telling you something that isn't happening anymore. That's the actual bargain we make every time we look up. We get to see the universe, genuinely see it with our own eyes, no metaphor required. But we only ever get its past, never its present. The universe doesn't hand that over. It can't. Nothing can travel fast enough to carry now across that kind of distance. So instead we get then, delivered late, dressed up to look current. And the star we started with, the one big enough to swallow half our solar system, the one already unraveling at the edges, already past the point of holding itself together the way it used to, its ending, whenever it actually happens, will always, permanently, be something we find out after the fact. Not live, not in real time. We will get the message eventually, the way you get a letter from someone who's already gone, and by the time it arrives, whatever happened will have finished happening a long, long time ago. The star is enormous. That part's true right now, this second, however you want to define now across that kind of gap. But its death, the actual moment of it, already belongs to history. We just haven't gotten our copy of the news yet. And when we do, it won't feel like watching something die. It'll feel like reading an obituary for something that, as far as we're concerned, was still alive yesterday.